Okay. Alright, so run this delirious fungal hollow. Actually, with it being delirious, I might want to add some quantity to it. No, more div cards. I think we just want to buff out the quantity, don't we? So we'll just grab some. A couple of these more common ones. Then maybe. No, I don't want blight there. That's fine. Arc. We'll try corrupting Tempest. I don't know exactly what that is. It's gonna get kind of laggy in here. Okay. And remember, I buffed all those with a Sentinel. That's why they're so feisty. Oh, it's also a Harbinger. Holy shit. Yes, it's great. You doing alright, dog? Sure. How you doing, brother? Hey, you need to start playing this game, man. Oh, I'd rather him drop additional scarabs, the map boss. This is a delirious map too, so this is a very deadly one. And of course I'm solo self-found, so my gear isn't, you know, the best. I mean, it's fairly easy to get a good colossal tower shield. The main thing you want on this is life gain when you block, and then it's second and third would be max life and chance to block. A 6 link for your gems. Right now the level I am, I can't really get a +3 level of socketed minion gems. I have to run a tier 16 map. I have to find a level 86 helmet to get that. +2 is good. Increased armor, resistances, life. Trigger a socketed spell when you use a skill. So I do have a +1 to all spell skill gems wand in my inventory, but it doesn't have an empty suffix. So I can't craft this trigger, a socketed spell on it, because it doesn't have an empty suffix. So I'm just using this for right now. It's +1 to level of all physical spell skill gems. So any of these skill gems with a tag physical, brutality support has a physical tag. It's a physical and a support gem. This is attack melee support, so it doesn't affect that. Determination, +1 from global. You see how it says +1 from global multipliers? That's what that is. Oh wait, it does not affect brutality because that's a support. Never mind. So it boosts determination, molten shell. So if you can't get a +1 to minion or +1 level early, you just get +1 to physical. Couple of unset rings because this build is really starved for gems. So I've got a flame dash in this one ring and a purity of elements in the other. If you get your flask sorted and your elemental elements sorted, and you don't need immunity to it, and you get your resistances sorted, you can switch this for something else and not run purity of elements. No, I never finished it, man. I need to though. So if you don't need immunity to all elements and +2 elemental resistances, you just don't even use this anymore. This is defensive. You don't get any damage from this. This is just keeping you from dying, you and your minions from dying. But if you don't have a problem with that, then you can run Pride for extra melee for your minions. Yeah, I need to do that, man.
When I'm ready,
I need to finish Kingmaker for sure. Anyway, I'm talking way too much about way too little, so let's just continue. Oh, man. So yes, that was difficult because I used a Sentinel. So a Sentinel basically boosts or empowers all the enemies in an area. So those enemies were a lot stronger. Not only that, but I'm also in a delirious map. It's only a 20% delirious, but delirious maps are also more deadly. Because if you have delirious, it's basically like adding suffixes and prefixes to the monsters. Delirium adds suffixes, prefixes, it boosts the monsters, it adds all of this, it adds a lot of difficulty to the maps. And delirious monsters are a lot, can be a lot deadlier and one-shot you really easily. That on top of buffing them with a Sentinel, which adds more prefixes and suffixes and also percentages. And so in Path of Exile you can run the same map, the same tier, One map you run, it's fine. The next map you run, you literally get one-shotted. Just depends on how you craft the map. Oh, fuck. So this one's kind of nasty. Oh, me. Oh, this one's really nasty, I'll be honest with you. I mean, for a solo self-found, like, it's not really nasty for trade league, standard. I mean, you can purchase you trade for all your gear and you have a perfect character. Yeah, I mean, it's not really nasty for that. But I'm playing solo self-found, so I have to find all of my gear. So all my gear is kind of shitty. All my gear is pretty much shit. I mean, I do have some good gear, but it's just not close to optimized. The best thing I have going for me is I found a 6-link. I was able to get a 6-link chest. Everything else is kind of like, yeah. I mean, I am playing a minion build, so like, it's not like I really need good gear. Minion builds are pretty strong, even if you just have life resist gear. Because minion builds scale really well with gem levels. So in minion builds, you want your gear to be plus level. That's why you want a +1 level to all minion gems, +1 level to all spell gems, 1. You might want a +2 to Spectre's boots, level Spectres. You know, any of your minions adding plus levels to it makes a lot more difference than if you're just playing like a character that uses arc or fireball or whatever. Minion builds really scale really well with levels to gems. So that's what you're mostly looking for in all your gear. And I actually have some gear with some of that stuff, so I'm actually scaling okay. So I mean, my gear's not terrible. I'm just not going to pump out a lot of damage really quickly. This character right now is kind of slow killing. Takes some time killing it. Not really bad at surviving, but unless you're really good at the game and you can dodge everything, it's still really hard to survive. I mean, there's builds that kill so quickly that the enemies don't have a chance to even do anything to you because that's how fast the enemies die. With minions, it's not like that. But if you can dodge projectiles fairly well and stuff, then it's not so bad. I'm going to drop some of this stuff off. I like solo self-found because finding unique items means a lot more. Your whole strategy changes. Because there's certain builds that don't even work if you don't find the unique item for it. Like for this build, I would take it. The next step for this build would be if I found a Dead Reckoning jewel, which is a unique jewel. It's a fairly rare jewel. You can actually play through a whole league solo self-found and never find the jewel. If you're on trade league, you can trade for it fairly easily. It's not really that expensive. I mean, it won't take you long on trade league to get it. Nothing takes you that long on trade league because you can just trade for it. But yeah, if I found a Dead Reckoning, I could go skeleton mages. Because Dead Reckoning jewel changes all your skeletons into skeleton mages. So then my build would change. All my gems would change. Instead of melee support gems, I'd be using elemental support gems. That's what I really like about this. Like, whenever you change one thing, it can change your whole entire build. There's like, really infinite possibilities. Oh fuck! Yeah, this guy's fucking kind of nasty. This guy's actually, yeah, these guys are really nasty. I'm not going to use Sentinel on these guys. I think I kind of bit off more than I could chew earlier when I used Sentinel. Not quite geared to run even a 20% Delirious with a lot of Sentinels and stuff, buffs and stuff. My Poison Assassin, my Blade Vortex Poison Assassin was running like, what, 80% Delirious fairly easily. I don't remember if it goes to 100% or. I was running fractured maps with him. He was having some trouble, but I would say that's probably the best budget character, especially in Trade League, would be a Poison, Blade Vortex Poison Assassin. I mean, you can actually run like full Delirious, kind of a budget. Oh god. Fuck. Okay. I could have died in like one hit in a lot of those instances. I don't know. And as you see, like how long it took me to kill those bosses just on 20% Delirious. Like my poison Blade Vortex Assassin, or if you're in Trade League, like let's say you're in Trade League and you have all the, like, you just buy all your gear, like you're gonna be able to clear stuff a lot faster than me, like within the first 2 or 3 days. I mean, you're gonna be like probably fully geared within the first 2 or 3 days, like a lot better geared than I am right now. You're gonna be blowing stuff like that out of the water. You're gonna be clearing stuff like that so fucking fast. Whereas me, I'm sitting here like for 2 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes trying to fucking kill. I mean, Solo Siphoun's definitely slower. But yeah. SSF Hardcore is a lot more difficult. I don't know if I can do that or not. That would be kind of too slow. If you're doing that, you're having to run like blue maps over and over just because I mean, there's some maps like if you run, there's such a high chance of you dying, you can't run them. So when you're running Solo Self-Found Hardcore, like, you're just being very careful what maps you run. And you're not going to be running a lot of rare, corrupted, like really crazy maps. I don't think so. Unless you're just a literal god, you know. Your abilities are pro level where you can just fucking dodge every little small projectile. You're just a fucking machine. Otherwise, yeah. Hardcore is kind of rough. There's builds that would have an easier time though. On your skill tree Hardcore, you focus on less damage. So take more defensive passives on your skill tree, which equates to you doing less damage, which equates to there's content that take you a long time to clear, to complete. Like you could kill Elder. With a minion build, you could kill Elder, Maven, anything, but it would just take you a long time. And you'd have to do it deathless, obviously, because if you died, you lose your character. actually solo self-found hardcore could actually take you months, several months, just to progress to a level of, you know, even if you're playing a lot. If you're like being really, really careful, it could actually take you a long time to clear everything. If you could clear everything before the league change, because the league changes every 3 months. So right now in Path of Exile, even trade league, where you can trade for everything, you're pretty much, it would be really hard to clear all content. You'd have to play every day, probably. And by the time, if you did clear all content, like 3 months would be up, and then they would add new content because the new league would start. You'd start over from level 1. So you're just doing the same thing over and over every 3 months. You're just trying to progress your character as much as you can. Which actually, I think that there's some things I'm not doing properly. Oh, I'm still here, though. Yeah. I'm dying a lot right now, actually. I actually could have cleared this without dying at all. I'm just really not paying attention to what I'm doing. You could actually very easily clear maps like this continuously without dying. You just have to be really careful. I'm just not really being careful. I actually got a lot. Another thing that helps is minions taunt on hit, which I have a ghastly gem. When you're rolling these gems for these minion builds, you always want to use ghastly eye. You know, murderous and hypnotic don't give the ideal prefixes and suffixes that you want. So you want to run you want to run ghastly.
Slayer.
Yeah, I don't know why I kept going back in that map, dude. I usually play really slow. Most people, what they do, most people play this game, they'll get like 50 maps, they'll craft all the maps to exactly what they want. Prefixes, suffixes, everything, craft what they want. And then they'll fill up their inventory with 10 maps and just run the maps as fast as they can. So they'll try to run 50 maps in as fast a time as they possible. Fast as possible. And then they keep a dump tab like this, and after every map, they dump everything. They go to another map, they dump everything. And they keep the filter very, very strict so they don't have to pick up a lot. Because you actually, over time, get more currency if you pick up less versus more. Because you gain so much speed and how fast you can run your maps. So then you can run like 50 maps like really fast. So then you can run hundreds of maps a day. So then after a week, you've ran literally maybe even thousands of maps, and you basically like just by sheer numbers, you either A, completed a character on solo self-found by finding everything because just how many maps you've ran, or B, if you're on trade league, you have so much currency you just buy everything that you need for your character, and then your character's fully maxed. But that's kind of why I like solo self-found, because trade league you can progress really fast. You can just buy every map that you need and just run. You can run the same map over and over. Like you could buy a Strand map. Strand is a really fast map, really quick. You could just constantly, you could just buy like 50 Strand maps and just juice them and just run them over and over and over and over. As fast as you can, just over and over and over. You don't even have to think, you just, like over time, you'll pretty much get everything you need, pretty much all the currency you need. You just run the same thing over and over. Or if you get really, if your character gets really strong in Trade League, then you start running Delirious maps. Like you'd run Strand, but you would be Delirious. And you just keep adding, like keep buying Scarabs and buffing, boosting your maps with Scarabs, and like you could clear a lot of content really fast on Trade League. Ooh. Yeah, these kind of games get really boring, actually, really quick. Raven's Invitation. I don't know if I want to run that right now. Man, I'd have to witness all of these to run it. It's going to take some time to even find that. But yeah, I usually play a lot slower because I play the game to read and to learn everything. I don't actually care how my character ends up. I just like learning about the game. So even if my character's dog shit, if I've learned a lot about the game, at the end of the league, even if my character sucks, I don't have any good gear, but I've read and learned a lot about the game and the mechanics of the game, I really prefer that to even achieving anything. So I just play a lot slower. What was it? Damn, dog. But yeah, for your 6th link, I would say farm a chains that bind. There's a lot of different divination cards you can get that'll give you a 6th link. And those divination cards only drop from certain maps. And from my experimentation, there's probably at least 7 or 8 different ones. You know, the one I like, it takes 11 divination cards, and it's the chains that bind. You get 11 of those cards, and then you get a random 6 link. That's the only downside. It can be random, but if what you want is a strength based or a strength intelligence based. If you do get evasion based, and then it's going to be wanting to roll green sockets, it's going to be really hard to roll what you need. But if you do get an evasion based and you just really want to try to use that base instead of farming more div cards, then you can take that base to Varisi. You can run Varisi until you get him in, is it research, I think? I can't remember. I have my notes for it. But you get him in research or something, and then you can get white sockets on this. So then you can have a 6 link with white sockets, so you don't have to worry about recoloring your base. But luckily, I got a strength base. Like I say, most of my gems are red, so it's easy to roll. Easiest to roll with a strength base. Even easier with a strength/intelligence base would be the easiest base to roll. Last league, that's what I got. When I first farmed one, I think I got like a holy chainmail or something. I can't remember. But to farm those div cards, you want to run chains that bind. You want to run cage map. Right now, cage map is tier 11. You run cage map. You add in at least a rusted div scarab, 50% more div cards in area. You run one of those. Cage map. You want to boost it with chisels to 20% and alk it. then put a Val Orb on it. So it's got a lot of quantity on it. It's really boosted the quantity. And I always run Div Scarabs for more Div. You can run Shaper or Elder. That'll give you a lot more quantity. You can run Cartographers to get more maps. I would run Cartographers the highest I could. Because if you're doing solo self-found and you don't find another cage map, then you can't keep running the cage map, so then you won't get the div cards for the 6th link. So I would also probably run a Cartographer Scarab here. That's probably a premium. Div, Cartographer, and either Elder or Shaper, or you could run a Blight, which would just give you a lot of different things. Blights are always good to add in. A lot of monsters. Anything that'll boost the quantity of monsters you get. Will raise your drops exponentially. A Breach. You can add a Breach in. I don't have a Breach Scarab right now. You can add strong boxes in. If you add strong boxes, fuck. Where's my maps at? Dude, I'm so out of it right now. What am I looking for?
I need more mana.
Oh, dude. Sorry, I'm out of it right now. No. What's I'm looking for? Oh, yeah. Gotcha. You can also take passives to add too. So if you take these passives, you can use Strongbox Scarabs, or have these passives to include Strongbox in there, and then take stuff like Strongbox in your map have 15% chance to be guarded by additional pack of monsters. So then you get more packs of monsters. Then you can add Harvest to your maps. You can add Harbingers. So if you have Harbingers added to your maps, right here, your maps contain an additional Harbinger. So every map you run will have a Harbinger. So then all of a sudden you have a map that has so much mobs that you pretty much every map you run, you get at least one div card. Chains that bind. So all of a sudden in like running 5 to 10 maps, you could even just run even less than that and get all those div cards. That's how you get your 6th link really quick. There's also another trick you can do that I recently found out. I don't know if anybody really knows about this. I'm sure they do, because people really fucking study this game crazy. But if you run a Keurig mission and you find a cage map on here, which I don't have a cage map, and you see how this right here says find the stack of divination cards? If this was a cage map, corrupted, 110% item quantity, huge pack size, and even if you didn't have a lot of item quantity, if you run it, it says find the stack of div cards. A lot of times, this has happened to me 2 different times. If I run this in cage map, I'll find all 11 of the chains that bind div cards in just one drop. So I literally get a 6 link in one map. That's kind of good for solo self-found, where you can't just go and buy it from another character or from another player. In Trade League, you can just buy it from another player. I'm trying to think of other stuff. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to complete my maps too. Anyway, just kind of went off on a tangent there. So I'll run some of these maps that I haven't completed yet. This is corrupted and unidentified, so in order to get completion bonus, I have to run corrupted ones. If you don't play Path Exile, corrupted currency will corrupt the map. In order to get Atlas bonus completion, you have to complete the map as corrupted. So that was a tier 11 Black Dark Forest. These two I've already completed. I need to complete a wharf map, so I'll have to corrupt this one with a corruption orb. That one I've already completed. These I have not. Let's get one that's already corrupted here. Underground River. Just get a plain one. And Val Pyramid, we'll get a plain one. So this one already has a prefix. Map has a Val side area. That's a good prefix in solo self-found because Val side areas always have +1 to level of area. So if you're running, which this is a tier 12 map, so it doesn't matter, but if you're running a tier 16 map, the highest eye level, I think the highest eye level to naturally drop would be an 84. If you have a Val side area, no, or you're not gonna, would be an 83, I think. I think it's 83. Anyway, Val side areas, yes, I think it would be 83. To naturally drop would be 83. Because I think even a rare mod would only drop an 83 on a tier 16. But if you have a Val, or no, it would drop an 84. But if you want to get eye level 86 stuff, Val side areas have higher eye levels than the base map. So if you run a tier 16 and then make sure it has a Val side area, you can get higher level stuff that way. Or you can run abysses. So you can get like eye level. Oh, can you not hear me at all? I must be mute. Yikes, that's not good. It's not going through. I must be talking very quietly though. Oh, I got you. So if you want something like let's say you have to have an eye level 86 pair of gloves to craft. Let's say there's a suffix you want or a prefix you want, and the item level has to be 86, which is the highest you would ever need it to be. Oh, really? Well, then you can either run Val side areas, or you can. Oh yeah, no problem. What was I doing? Oh yeah, Atlas passives. Hold on. So you can get this on the Atlas passive tree. So you want to get increased chance to lead to abyssal depths, and then after you get an increased chance of that, which you want your maps to have an abyss, so you have increased chance of your maps having an abyss, and then you look right here, abyssal depths in your maps have +3 to monster level. So you can actually get like level 90 items just from this. I think they actually nerfed this. You used to get level 89 and 90 because used to it would add 5 levels. I think it only adds 3. I guess they nerfed that. But you literally then every abyss that like a lot of maps you run will always have abysses. And then as long as you can clear the abysses, you have a higher chance of it leading to, a lower abyss, and then all of a sudden, like, everything that drops is eye level 86 plus. So that's how you get all your gear to craft with if you're in solo self-found. Most people will trade for it, so they'll trade for level 86 Elder Bone Helm or Shaper Bone Helm, or which would be really probably one of the hardest base drops for this character. Would be an eye level 86 Elder or Shaper base, and then you'd want to clear. You'd want to get an orb. You would want to have one helmet as an Elder or Shaper, and then the base you want to use your Bone Helm, eye level 86 Elder or Shaper, and then you use an orb, an Awakened orb. On the helmet that you don't care about, you just want the influence, and then you use it on the helmet that you care about. So then all of a sudden you have an eye level 86 Shaper and Elder base helmet. So you can get like a literal 6 link from your helmet. So your helmet basically gives you a 6 link. Because Elder and Shaper can add, like, you can get like minion life, minion damaged added in the form of, so you basically have a 6 link in your helmet. So then you're running 2 6 links. So while Abyss may not seem really great, you get Stygian Vice from Abyss. So if you want to get Stygian Vice in solo self-found where you can't trade for it, guess what? You have to run Abyss. If you want to get these Ghastly Eye Jewels to craft on, you run Abyss. Abyss is really good for minion builds. But I'm going to run these maps here just to kind of get map completion. These I would not chisel because they're a lower map tier. I'm just going to alch them to turn them rare and then corrupt them. If they're a tier 16, I would chisel them, alch them, corrupt them. And I would also look at my scarabs. I would also potentially, if I didn't care about any scarabs, if I just wanted straight quantity, if you add these in, these automatically give you 5% quantity, so you can just add 3 of these at the very least. I would just think about ways of getting, basically if these are any tier 16 map I run, I think about how can I get more monsters in the map. What's the best way to get more monsters? Do I add an Abyss? Do I add a Breach? Another way to get more monsters is make sure you run it as an Eater of Worlds map. If you run it as Eater of Worlds, you automatically get free quantity. Or even a Searing Exarch. I would recommend Eater of Worlds if you're a minion build, because, well, actually any build, because there's a really overpowered amulet, Ashes of the Stars, that give plus to all gem levels. It's the best, plus 30% quantity. I mean, it's the best in slot for a lot of builds. It's a really ridiculous amulet. I got it solo self-found last league. You just have to beat the Eater of Worlds, which he is not easy to beat at all. And honestly, Eater of Worlds, you can boost the map for more quantity, but I'm pretty sure he only guarantees 1 drop at one time. So I just ran the map white. I didn't chisel the map, alch it, or I didn't change the map in any way. I just ran it completely base white map because he always guarantees drops 1 of those uniques. So I ended up running the map. It took me like 5 or 6 tries to get it. Ash of the Stars only drops 1 in 4 times, so 25% chance to drop. But you have to complete like 20-something maps just to get Eater of Worlds. So I ended up running like 150 maps before I got Ash of the Stars. Yeah, I just... Okay, so I'm going to corrupt those now. So that's already corrupted. This will be corrupted. I would advise do not corrupt something if it's something you can't run. So if there's something on here, and this one was already corrupted, but it says players cannot regenerate life, mana, or energy shield. That's a pain in the ass for me. But it's already corrupted. Once it's corrupted, I can't change it. But if something's not corrupted yet, read these prefixes and suffixes. If it's something your build cannot run, do not corrupt it. because there's a good chance that that prefix or suffix will stay on here, and then it'll be stuck, and then you can't run the map. This build can run every prefix and suffix. The two that I don't like running is this one. Players cannot regen mana or energy shield, because then nothing can regenerate, so I have to use my life flasks more. I have to actually switch out with a mana flask. That's why I keep a mana flask here, because I can run this, but I have to keep a mana flask because I don't get any mana regen. The other thing that I don't like running is physical reflect. So when monsters physical reflect, so since my minions do physical damage, the minions will reflect physical back to them, and then all of a sudden my minions are dying a lot easier. But my minions do get buffs from me. So anything I run, my minions get it also. So my minions have 100. Well, me and nearby allies. So any kind of minion would get it. My minions have almost 200 life per second regen. They also have a lot of armor. They also have a lot of elemental resist and elemental elements. So, yeah, I can run pretty much any mod, because honestly, I don't think my minions would die even with Fizz Reflect. I don't know why I mentioned this, because this physical has nothing to do with elemental resistances. The armor would, though. I don't know if armor would. I don't think armor effects reflect, actually. I think actually all that would matter would be vitality. Armor mitigates hits, but I don't know if it would mitigate reflect. That's interesting. I don't know. Anyway, so I can pretty much run anything. So I'm going to corrupt these. None of these look really bad. Even if you can run it, I would suggest to re-roll it with a Chaos Orb or Scour and Alchemy Orbit. If you can't run it. Patches of Consecrated Ground is a pain in the ass, but it's not too bad. Okay, so that'll have Patches of Consecrated Ground. That one's going to be a pain in the ass because of no regen. This was not too bad. That's a lot of physical is cold. Physical is lightning. Less curse effect on monsters, so it'll be harder to kill monsters because my vulnerability curse, will have 60% less effect. Therefore, they'll take less than half. They'll take a lot less damage, actually. It's not that big of a deal, though. I mean, that's kind of a common suffix. Yeah, that map's going to be kind of rough. Patches of Burning Ground. Elemental Weakness, which Elemental Weakness isn't that bad for me because my elemental resistances are crazy because I run Purified Elements. So, yeah. No, it shouldn't be too bad. So all these are corrupted. Gotcha. So I can run all these maps. I'll run this one last because I'll have to switch to my... So I'm just trying to complete these maps. I'm not trying to juice these maps because they're low level maps. I'm just trying to get a completion bonus. I will add the Searing Exarch in here though. Like any free juice you can get, go ahead and get it. Like this will give you more mobs. Temple of Atsuata will give you more mobs. And then of course the standard 7%. That's fine. I don't want to go too crazy with it. This will naturally give you more because then you have 3 temples to open. We can go over the temples as well. So we'll use Sentinel here. It's not a delirious map. It shouldn't be too rough. I'll know soon though. Really shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Those Sentinels can get kind of nasty when they get imbued. And it depends on what Sentinels you're running are. Like if you're running a Sentinel that's really fucking buffed up and ridiculous, there's a humility right there. So if you don't have your 6-link, that's part of a tabula rasa you could get. That's the thing I like about these Sentinels, is you can get divination drops without being in the map for that divination card. So I just got a humility. I'm not in a channel map. So you can literally get, I'm pretty sure you can get just about any div card. So Sentinel League is really nice for SSF in that regard, because you don't have to, like, let's say you don't have a channel map. Well, how do you get that div card? Well, I mean, you might get it in a Sentinel. You might get stuff in a Sentinel you don't even have the map for yet. So there's an Alva. So the way this works basically is, if you slow down and look at it, you want to try to get everything as much tier 3 as possible. So stuff you look for would be tier 3 sacrifice unique, because if you're solo self-found, there's a lot of stuff you can only get from this temple. And there's a lot of upgrades you can only, like, you have to upgrade through this temple to get certain items. Like Mask of the Stitch Demon, which is probably the best one of the best in slot, if not the best in slot for my Animate Guardian. You get it from this temple. But in order to get it from here, you have to get that mask to drop and then upgrade it in this temple. You can get it to drop, I think, in pretty much any map. But there are certain tier 3 areas that will boost your chances a lot. You can actually get a fight with it at Ziri in here. You can get a tier 3 that has chests full of maps, so you can just get flooded with maps if you want maps. Which maps are really take a lot of priority in solo self-found because you can't trade for your maps, so you might want to get your maps. If you want to run a monolith, you can get tier 3 on a monolith. It's not too bad if your build runs monoliths really well. Monolith can drop a lot of stuff. This right here upgrades one adjacent and connected room by 1 tier. So this empowers your other rooms. So if you get a Shrine of Empowerment, take it to tier 3, it's going to empower your other rooms. All of a sudden you have a lot of tier 3 rooms. This is the one I was talking about to sacrifice. If you get this to tier 3, you can sacrifice certain unique items, and then it upgrades that item. So that Mask of the Stitch Demon, you upgrade through this. So this right here, if I got this to tier 3 and got a Mask of the Stitch Demon to drop and sacrifice it, all of a sudden we're looking at like an item that sells for like probably at least 2 to 3 Exalted Orbs. Potentially just from one temple. So temples can be really good. A lot of people underestimate temples, but you have to know what you're doing. If you just run this at random, you don't know. See this right here, chest full of gems. If you change this to chest full of gems and up that to tier 3, all of a sudden you've got tons of chests with gems. All of a sudden you can get like, I think those actually can drop awakened gems. I'm not sure. The double, maybe not. Maybe not. Awakened gems are really important to get though. That's like your next big boost as a minion build. Because as a minion build, you really rely on your gems, So you want all your gems to be awakened if you can. So I'm going to want to boost this up. Instead of going for the gems, since this is already tier 1, if I go for the gems, then this will start back at tier 1, but it'll be gems, right? And I only have 6 incursions remaining. So the chances of me getting a tier 3 gems, even if I wanted it badly, is basically pretty much 0. I mean, like, your chances of getting are really slim. Because So if I up this to the next tier, tier 2, like there's a good chance with the next 6 I'll hit this again. Because I think it's pretty much random how you hit these, I'm not sure. Then I can upgrade this to tier 3, and then all of a sudden a lot of these will be boosted by tier 3 because it's empowerment. Because I think empowerment tier 3 boosts everything to tier 3, I think. So that's really definitely the best one. And I'm already connected to the entrance, so I think I want to connect to the banquet hall. Tunnels you're not sure about. Sparring room is full of weapons. I don't really care about weapons. Minion builds don't really care about weapons. Other than getting a 1 with +2 levels on your... So going up to banquet hall will be good. Yes. And I'm really over-explaining a lot of this stuff, honestly. Like, I pretty much split second know all of this stuff. I kind of know exactly what to do. But explaining it is really fun. Yeah, I really do have a lot of problems with, oh shit, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I don't know if I'm gonna get this or not. Oh, I didn't get it. Fuck. Well, that's the example of failing. That's the example of failing very hard. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't realize my timer was that low. Is my mic not really loud right now, or what? So that kind of sucks. Oh well, whatever. Oh, I thought you were recommending voice meter or something. You were recommending software or something too. Yeah, that's a bummer, dude. That's a bummer. I hate that. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Yeah, this is a nasty area. Honestly, this area is kind of so nasty because any projectile can fucking hit you hard. Oh, okay. That's right, I got you. I remember now. So, hey, do you want to play some Sea of Thieves, man? You want to play some Sea of Thieves, bro? I just now... You were talking about that earlier. I wasn't even thinking about that. See, now we're in the Surveyor Study. Full of maps. That's cool. So normally I would just split second. Okay, yeah, I know what to go. So I'll just fucking dive in. So this one I'll do a lot better with. Just try to hit the big packs first. So you get a lot more on your timer. And you come here. I'm going to get a Val Skellies because I want this guy dead quick. This is going to be hard. No. I don't know if I can... Oh. No. I don't know if I can do this or not. Yeah, this map might be too hard for my build. No, I did kill him. Oh. So by killing him... Oh, no, I didn't kill him. No, I upgraded it. Okay. So by killing him, I upgraded this to tier 3. So you have to be able to... Your build has to be able to kill... That's the only thing about running the temple. Like, if you run it in really crazy maps, just keep in mind your build does need to be able to kill the content. It doesn't need to be able to clear the content in a timely fashion and to kill that unique monster. What the fuck? need to pay attention to what I'm fucking doing, dude. Yeah, this game can be really brutal. Obviously, if you're playing hardcore, you do not want to run shit like this without really boosting your character a lot. Of course, I'm not really that good at this game. I just like learning about the game. I'm really not that great at it. There's people that are really fucking godly at this game that could run all this easily and not die at all. I can't really do that. I've gotten kind of used to hotkeys though. I mean, I use my hotkeys. I use hotkeys fairly well. I've got a good setup on my potions. So my middle 3 potions are always my middle 3 potions are always my potions that boost me, buff me, and also potions that get rid of stuff like shock and chill or whatever. This is always on my bleeding, to get rid of bleeding and stuff like that. So I use QWERTY. So QWERT, and that keeps me easy access to these flasks. I always have Bow Summons on T, so because I don't use it as often, I don't want to accidentally hit it. So my pinky's on Q, my ring finger's on W, my middle finger's on E, my index is on R, and then T I can hop over to. My move is left click, but I've got Molten Shell on left click. Molten Shell applies a buff. If I keep it on left click and it's on 4-second cooldown, then I can keep my Molten Shell up without having to even... Oh no, you're good. So now my Molten Shell stays up. And on right click, so I can hold down left click and also hit a right click. So now I'm constantly buffed by Molten Shell. And now I'm using right click for summon Skellies. I hit E to curse. You can also get rings with curse on hit. If you're a melee build, that's really nice because you're cursing everything on hit. You can also get multiple curses. So if you get multiple curses, there's an item that allows you, there's a unique item that allows you to stack curses. I believe it's a glove, so you can have like 2 curses at once. You can automate your curses. So you can when you cast your animate golem, you can animate it with an item that gives it curse on hit. So then all of a sudden your golem has curse on hit. So then you don't have to cast curse. Your golem casts it for you. So you can actually make this build into being a very lazy build by automating everything. This is a trigger one, so I'll automatically automate Bone Offering, Desecrate, automatically. So this one right here automatically makes corpses through the gem Desecrate. It automatically casts Bone Offering on those corpses because Bone Offering needs corpses to cast. That's why I've got Desecrate in there. The Bone Offering boosts me and my minions. The reason it boosts me is I have a passive on my tree right here, Mistress of Sacrifice. Your offering skills also affect you. So now all of a sudden, I'm boosted by Bone Offering. Even though it has reduced effect on me. Well, if you look at Bone Offering, that gives me % chance to block attack damage, % chance to block spell damage, 4% life regen. I only get 2% regen per second from me, and I only get like maybe 18-19% to block attack and spell damage, but my minions get a lot. So it gives me that, it gives my minions that. So all of a sudden I'm a tank, I'm a monster tank. And what's up, Doc? Hell yeah. And this life tap support, you may be asking why I have that in there. Well, if you look, I have a lot of mana reserved. I could take this out because I have enough mana right now. I have 167 mana. All this reserved I can't use. So life tap makes this take this from my life and my life regenerates so fast from vitality. Like, if you look at my vitality, my life regenerates so fast, like almost 200 per second, plus what my gear gives. Some of my gear gives 88 life gain when I block, so I gain 88 life every time I block, and I block like 32% of the time. So basically, I get a lot. My life feels so fast that I don't even notice this. So this is basically free bone offering casting. I cast it constantly for free, without having to hit a key. So I can use my hotbar for other stuff. So it just makes it really lazy. Oh, Path of Exile, yeah. You have to like really be a fucking nerd.
There you are. Ready to revisit.
You have to really be a sad fucking nerd, actually.
Let's go.
He didn't like Diablo? That's just not his kind of game, dude. Some people don't like ARPGs. Okay, so I got this. Open that passage. Good. Oh, I got another one. Oh, motherfucker. I'm not gonna be able to make it though. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Good job.
Of course, I'm doing these maps so fucking slow, by the way. Like, there's a lot of people already done 50 maps, probably. Like, I'm just explaining everything very slowly. Ow, shit. I need to get off here, dude. I'm really tired. Yes, I'm really tired. Let's just try to complete the map, dude. Let's just try to complete the map. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. There's a strong box. So I'm going to go ahead and craft on this strong box. Oh, nice. Strong boxes usually give you return. It's usually not a bad idea. I'll be honest with you though, I wouldn't really roll strong boxes until you get to tier 16 maps. But I like crafting on stuff, and I like experimenting with stuff, and so usually if I see one, I'll throw something on it. Chance Orb or Alchemy or something. I usually pretty much always throw it on it. This is not a bad staff. Plus level of socket of gems. So if you get a 6 link of that, or even a 5 link, that's actually not bad. The only reason I don't run 2-handers is because I want to have that chance to block, and I want to get that life gain on block, and I want to get all that stuff. So here's a crafting recipe. That's why I wanted to rush to the top. I want to go ahead and kill this guy, then I'll slowly finish the rest of the map. Val summon skeletons, so all of a sudden I have like 40-something skeletons. And all of a sudden, these guys have a hard time. This is solo self-found. They're like, I probably need to go back in tier and maps and level up a little more before I've died way too much. Yeah, I probably need to go back in maps. I'm just trying to rush everything because I'm a fucking weirdo. Welcome to the stream, dogs. Like I say, I play really slow, so I prefer to play slow. That's why I play self-found. So I think I'll keep with the Abyss, even though I'm not getting a lot of use of it out of it now. I pretty much get the most use out of it when I can actually do tier 16 maps fairly well. Which I could do them, not comfortable. I'd like to hit level 95 first. And I've already died a lot. Like I say, if I was going hardcore, I'd be playing this differently. I wouldn't be running corrupted maps on hardcore yet until I hit like level 95 minimum, like bare minimum. Toby Keith, what a man! Well, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, Doc. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Huh. I don't know why I did that. These 6 links, obviously. Give you 7 Jeweler's Orbs. Bow Caress, okay. A lot of uniques in this game have a lot of different mechanics. So, like, uniques have really weird mechanics in this game. So like this one has +2 level to Val socketed gems. So if it's a Val gem of any kind, you socket it in here. If all of your gems are Val gems, this gives +2 to all of them. It's got life, good resistances, good armor. This actually is not a bad glove. You could actually just run all Val gems. Well, hold on. No, you could run a Val gem in. I mean, the supports can't be Val, right? But I mean that boosts that can boost something a lot. This could boost your Animate Guardian 2 levels. So if you have a +2, like if you have a +2 1. And then these gloves, and your Animate Guardian is. Can it be Val? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like you're talking about a +4 boost, which actually your Animate Guardian you want to put it in your helmet for a +3. You get a +3 from your helmet. To socketed minion gems, +2 from a +2 1. All of a sudden, you got +5 levels to your Animate Guardian. Your Animate Guardian is corrupted level 21. All of a sudden now you've got, from a max level of 20 Animate Guardian, now your Animate Guardian's level 25. If that gem is corrupted and you get a level 21 if you get a plus level corruption, so you have a level 21 Animate Guardian, now your Animate Guardian is level 26. So he's basically not going to die. Once you get him to where he can't die, then you start creating him from a lot of different, like that Mask of the Stitch Demons I talked about earlier. I've given him Vicario's Flight, boots, unique boots. I don't have any of these, but I gave them to him, so now he gives me and my allies increased movement. So I have increased movement because it's on my Golem. So you start giving your Golem stuff that boosts your minions and boosts you, and then all of a sudden you have basically an immortal Animate Guardian that pretty much can't die to fucking anything. Like, he's not going to die to anything. He's literally a god. He makes you look like a fucking pissant, basically. So, like, while you're gonna die to all these fucking bosses, like, he's literally not gonna die, ever. And then you give him, like, whatever you want, your preference, to boost your minions. You just start reading this stuff. Right here, you can apply an additional curse. So these boots, this uniques allow me to apply additional curse. I wear these boots, all of a sudden now I can run 2 curses. I can run vulnerability.
Godslayer, good day.
I can go here and find a curse. Let's look for the curse tag. What other curse do I want to run? I mean, that boosts. This right here, supported auras do not affect you. So you can affect your minions. This will affect your minions at a increased potential. All of a sudden I've got curses now. I can lower cold resistance. Assassin's Mark. Cursed enemies have a 100% chance to grant a power charge when slain. Cursed enemies have hits against them have an increased critical strike multiplier. Cursed enemies grant life when killed. I mean, I can run elemental weakness as a curse if I had. That's good if you're doing elemental damage. What curse would I want to run though? Enfeeble would be really good. Curse rare, unique enemies deal 10% less damage. Normal magic deal 21% less. That's not too bad. There's other curses out here though. Sniper's Mark. Increased damage from projectile. Less action speed. Cursed enemies are slower. That slows the enemies down. Probably over here. Warlord's Mark is life leech when hit by attacks, mana leech. So if you cast this, all of a sudden like your minions are leeching so much fucking life. And gaining endurance charges and just like, I wouldn't say that's going to be really a good curse. That wouldn't be worth adding the boots for. You're going to want damage. Cursed enemies take 40% increased damage while low on life. So that would actually not be too bad. 10% of overkill damage from killing blows on cursed enemies reflected to other enemies as physical damage. So that's actually a pretty sweet curse you could add. So you just play around. I mean, you just add all kind of different things. I personally just like regular 2-tone boots with armor or energy shield. But if you don't need the resistances, I would say the best boots would be Titan Greaves, anything you get the most armor with. Or anything with a lot of evasion if you're running evasion. If you're running specters and you want evasion. Anything with a lot of evasion. This is just kind of the standard, but if I wasn't worried about resistances, I'd rather have Titans. And then you can end up getting plus to specters on there and get extra levels from your specters. So you'd want an elder base, I think, for specters. Yes, plus to specters is an elder base, so you want that. Anyway, I digress. So, what was I doing?
I'm ready, and not before.
Let's run this underground to try to complete it. We'll get Maven as a witness here. Temple of Atswaddle as well. Should I use a lower level one? Let's just run this. Try to be careful. I do want to level. So I don't want to constantly die. So all of my maps have harbingers now because of the Atlas passive. So all of my maps have huge quantity, dude, and this gives you a lot of experience. Go ahead and that's an unset ring. Okay. That's a Villa map with Delirious. Delirious is ridiculous because with Delirious, I gotta show you Delirious. With Delirious, when you're looking at your passives, you can get drops to where you get cluster jewels, this large cluster, and then you craft on the jewel, and you can get these really big notables, and then all of a sudden your minion damage just goes out the ass. And then you can run this that has increased mana reservation efficiency from this small cluster, from the added passive uncompromising. And then you can fit more auras, and then all of a sudden you have like 4 or 5 auras at once, and your damage is boosted exponentially. Like all of a sudden your damage like goes from, your damage all of a sudden fucking doubles. So you want to run Delirious maps to get those clusters. Of course you can also find them with Sentinels, which is why I like Sentinels. Sentinels can literally drop you any kind of gift. I mean, you can get cluster jewels. You can get really good jewels with percent max life on them. You can get really good gems. You can get really good rare items, weapons. You can get scarabs to craft your maps with. You can get currency items. You can literally get anything. You can get helmets that are enchanted, which is really good. So if I get it, if I had an enchant like minions deal, I don't know, like skeletons deal, or you get extra skeleton, or skeletons deal extra percent damage, or you know, like whatever enchantment you want. Blights are really good too because as a minion build, you can just kind of sit back. Let him kill these blights. And this map's a lot easier than the previous. I guess I just got a really bad affix on the previous map. I didn't really look at it really closely. Some maps you'll run and you have no problems dying. Other maps you run and like you get one shot like every 30 seconds. I don't really pay attention to the map prefixes and suffixes and the affixes and stuff. If you're playing hardcore, you definitely want to, because you could die very fucking quickly. I'll be honest with you. Here's a breach, so that adds even more to your map. So when I was talking about farming divination cards, when you farm div cards, you want to run, and I'm talking about juicing your map. You want to run breaches. You want to have harbingers. And you saw how many monsters you get just from breach, just from a harbinger. Strong boxes with those passives, so then you have extra packs around the strong boxes. And you open the strong box. You can roll the strong box with an alchemy or corruption. Get a lot of juice on your strong box. Then it fucking drops a lot of items. Then you get a lot of divination. You might get it like just 2 or 3 div, like you might get 3 or 4 div cards a map, depending on how rare the div card is. If it's a really common div card like Chains of Bind, like I was talking about farming earlier, you might could run like 2 or 3 maps and get everything you need. You could get a 6 link in like 2 or 3 maps. Literally solo self-found, like fucking easy as 1, 2, 3. You just have to know how to do it. It's not hard to do. You just have to have the resources to do it. And you can use this kind of stuff on your trade league too. So, like on trade league, right? Why would you play solo self-found? Well, let's say you're playing trade league and you're racing to be like the first in trade league. Well, if you're doing that on trade league, guess what? You can't trade with people because you're number 1. You're number 1 on the ladder. There's nobody else that has more stuff than you. You have more than anybody else. You can still trade with other people because other people might find stuff you need. Like they might get lucky and find an exalted orb early or something that you need to add an affix to something. Like Which, if you're that late game crafting with exalted orbs, you probably have a lot just from drops anyway. I mean, I get exalted orbs just at random. Yeah, full chest of items, sure.
It's time.
But yeah, like being self-sufficient really helps you, even in trade league. Because if you're racing in trade league to be like the first to level 100 or whatever, like you really need to know a lot about solo self-found. You really need to know pretty much everything about the game you can, and solo self-found is the easiest way to learn about the game because you're forced to do all this stuff. You're forced to craft all your gear. You're forced to find all your gear. Whereas trade league, it's just so easy just to, just trade for what you want. You can trade for a 6-link so fast. You can trade for a unique item you need so fast. You can trade for high level 86 stuff to craft on so fast. Then you can craft your own stuff. Trade league, you can pretty much get all top tier stuff really fast if you know what you're doing. If you're used to playing solo self-found, you can get, and you really know how to craft and you know a lot about the game. You can have your character maxed out in like the first couple days easily. But you have to play a lot, and you really have to know a lot about the game. But yes, I digress. Whatever. Okay. It's not like Diablo 2. The reason I like Diablo 2, I mean it is like Diablo 2, but I feel like there are items in this game, like there's usually, you have a direction you're grinding towards, right? Like in Diablo 2, you don't have as much of a direction. Like, okay, you're just trying to find high runes. So you're running the same thing over and over, council over and over, just to get high runes. This game, like you've always have a goal in mind. Like, oh, I want boots with plus to Spectre. I want rings with plus to curse on hit. How do I get plus curse on hit rings? Oh, well, you can find those in Delve. So then all of a sudden you run Delve. Well, let's say you find a curse on hit ring. What curse is it? Is it curse of vulnerability? Is that the best curse for your build? Do you want elemental weakness curse? What bases can you get a curse on? Can you craft the curse? Go to Craft of Exile and emulate crafting and see like what affixes can you get on what. Okay, to get this I have to have a Shaper base. Oh, to get this plus this I have to have a Shaper and an Elder base. To get this I have to have a Warlord base. I mean there's a lot of different influences on your bases too, so like it's literally like limitless what you can actually get. What did I kill that bastard? No, he's not dead. Let's get out of there. Talk way too much about this game. I have to reel it back. I could talk about this game all fucking day. I really could. So you want a curse on hit, so then you go to Delve. Well, how do you get Delve? Well, you find Scarabs to give you Sulfite so you can run Delve. Well, how do you find Scarabs? Well, I mean, it's just over and over and over. Like, there's so much to do. There's so many ways to get the same result. I mean, Trade League, you don't see that in Trade League because you're not forced to do it. When you're in Trade League, you just trade for everything you want. You're good. You're not forced to have to worry about any of that stuff. That's why solo self-found is the best. Because you're forced to think outside the box. You're forced to literally do things your way because you might not have the gear you want. So you basically have to make your own build as you go. Because you're not guaranteed to get anything. because you can't trade for anything. Therefore, you have to actually learn about the game. That's a delirious map. That's actually a good one to run. Oh, that would be good to run. Let's see if there's any more else. You want to play some Sea of Thieves, dude, or? I know I've been talking about this game. Y'all don't even give a shit about this game. I'm just doing it in case anybody else watches the video later, because I like teaching people about stuff. That's my favorite part of streaming. Yeah, me too, dude. I'm fucking starving right now, dog. I guess I keep adding to Abyss. Another thing I like about these passes is they added this. Your maps have no chance to have smuggler caches. Your chance have no maps chance to have metamorph. You think, well, that's bad, isn't it? Well, no. That if there's stuff you don't like to run, you get rid of it. Right now, I want to boost my maps, so let's just type in maps. Or I could just click on this. So I've already got shaping the mountain, shaping the skies. Oh, I was going to favor a map, which I have to complete a tier 16 to favor it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start running some tier 16s, I guess. I could finish filling this out. What else do I want? I've already done those. I guess I'll just finish filling this Kirak map out. Yeah, I'll finish filling this out because it's really important to me for maps.
When I'm ready and not before.
I'll do this. Oh, these Temple of Albas I didn't do.
I need more mana.
The best way to be good at something is to really enjoy it. If you don't like doing something, you're never going to be good at it.
Ready to revisit the past. The more you kill, the more you check my back. And the closer we get to finding the temple in the present day.
I'd rather get the strong boxes here.
The layout.
And I'm going to connect to tunnels. I'd rather go for the strong boxes here. It's already tier 1 explosive. Yeah, that's another thing. Never do it for free, bro. Ah, shit. I don't make money on Twitch. Maybe one day I can. I haven't made my first 100 yet. There's a steel ring.
Ah, there you are. Ready to revisit.
Full of gems.
Change my map. And the closer we get to finding.
I only have one incursion left, so I'll just buff that. That's fine. I'm gonna do this one better. I've been floundering on these Albas. Oh god, I've been running out of time on these. Yeah, I think these maps are just too hard for Alba. There's one right there. For me, anyway. Like, I'm just not good enough at the game, probably. Come on. There we go. Oh, I've got that stone. Ah, shit.
Good job, Exo. With all fear removed,
Okay, so we didn't get any tier 3s. This in power is 1 connected though.
The location of the temple is now clear. Make sure you've got
Strong.
enough supplies. Let me know when you're ready.
I still get some maps and stuff.
I'll open another.
Let's face it, I'm just trying to level right now too. I mean, sometimes just getting experience is good. Yeah, I figured it was a quote. But it is actually a true quote though. That is actually true. That is actually true. I mean, like, if you can find something you're really good at and other people aren't near as good as you at, that's when you're marketable for a business. Which depends on what it is, actually. I mean, there's some things that you're going to make a lot less money on. You know, some stuff's not as much in demand, so. I'll need that too. Dude, I am fucking starving right now. I really am. I really am starving. What do you say? I guess we'll run this temple, right? I think we should run this temple. Let's run this temple.
I did it.
We're gonna do education.
We did it. The location of the temple is now clear. Remember to watch your step outside. We may have helped build this layout, but a lot can change in 2,000 years. There's no telling what kind of things have taken up residence in those ruins. Hope you've made some bag space. Today we make off with the king's ransom.
Additional lightning monster packs. So these basically add additional packs. So if you just want packs, you add those. This is adding traps. Monsters to the temple have increased area effect. So I think it does buff your quantity and quality though. On the downside of having traps. That's kind of a confusing one, but this is actually a good thing. I think. I'm not really good with temple stuff, to be honest with you. This gives me more packs. This gives a monolith, so we've got a lot of really cool stuff we can go over. So let's go on to these chests and this monolith here.
Let's begin.
That'll give us a lot to explain. Ooh, this will give us so much to talk about. Oh hell yeah! You can also get buffs to this too. That's what I love about this Atlas system now. You can get buffs to anything. So let's say you love temples. Well, where's the temples? Right, like you can... Are there no temple passives? Would it be out? There's no albas? Oh. Yeah, here's some albas. Maps have 4% chance for an additional alba mission. 3% to grant an additional alba mission on completion. Incursion artifacts in your map has 6% chance to drop an additional rare incursion item. So if you want some of these rare incursion items, this is a good one to pick. There's not a lot of alba stuff on here though. It's kind of sad. It actually is kind of sad. But yes, I would say Alba is a lot better in solo self-found. In Trade League, I wouldn't even do Alba. Honestly, I mean, I hate that. That makes me sad to say that. It saddens me because I love every mechanic in this game equally. I mean, this game is, you know, really fun. Has a lot of really interesting, great mechanics, and I love them all in their own way, you know, in a different way. So. But I will say that this mechanic is probably on the lower power scale as far as Trade League because you can trade for a lot of this stuff. Whereas on solo self-found, it's actually in a lot of cases required. Because if I want that Mask of Stitch Demons, acquired. If I want to double corrupt a gem, I can't buy a gem, but I want to double corrupt a gem. Guess one of the only places you can do it, Temple of Alba. There's a lot of uniques you can only get from the Temple of Alba. Like, if you're solo self-found, you pretty much have to do Temple of Alba. Like, there's no fucking, like, you're going to do Temple of Alba. Trade League, you don't ever have to even fucking go to Temple of Alba. You don't have to worry about it at all. Yeah, to fully optimize your character, you're going to want to go to Temple of Alba sometime. In solo self-found. Trade League, I don't know. We're talking about really, really high levels of optimization, though. I think the most important thing to do is get fossils. So, well, the most important thing is to get a 6-link. Then you want to get to tier 16 maps and start crafting and run harvest. You want to start harvest crafting, because then you get a lot of really free, really cool crafts. And all of a sudden your gear gets exponentially better. You have a lot better rare gear as you're harvest crafting. And remember, in solo self-found, use your chaos orbs, use your alchemy orb, like use all your, you can't trade your orbs. So I find in solo self-found, your gear's gonna actually be better than you would think it would be because you're using all your currency to craft with. So you learn more about crafting simply from playing solo self-found because your currency is basically worthless. Your currency is basically used for what it's used for, unless you're purchasing, like map enchantments with chaos orbs or something, or crafting with stuff. Like all of a sudden, exalted orbs. You can't trade exalted orbs. So when you find an exalted orb, guess what? You're not that excited. You're like, okay, that's an exalted orb. No. Because the only thing you can really do with an exalted orb that's a guaranteed good thing is metacrafting. If you actually use an exalted orb to craft, like 9 times out of 10, the result is going to be just garbage. And if you're not in game, you don't even want exalted orbs anyway, because you don't have. If you're using an exalted orb on an item, that means that item is crafted the best you can possibly craft it. You've literally done everything else to that item you can fucking think of. The item is perfect. Now all you're doing is just slamming an exalted orb and hoping for something. I mean, there's other ways of using exalted orbs. I mean, you can use metamods, like you can, suffixes cannot be changed. Like, honestly, if I get prefixes cannot be changed, I have a +1 level gem. I level 1. That I can, if you spend 2 exalted orbs, you can craft prefixes cannot be changed. It's either 2 or 3, I don't remember. And then I can clear my suffixes on that 1. All of a sudden I have a +1 to spell skill gem level 1. And then I can craft suffixes on it. Then I can craft, item can have more than 1 suffix. And then I can put 2 suffixes I want on that item. Or, or whatever. I mean, so, while exalted orbs aren't very exciting on solo self-found, there are uses for them, but you have to have like multiples of it. I mean, you have to like have a lot of them. Just 1 or 2 exalted orb. I mean, you find an exalted orb in Trade League, that's good because then you can trade for something. You can trade for an upgrade for your character, or like 5 or 6 exalted orbs. You can trade for like a 6-link flesh crafter, or whatever 6-link item you want. Whatever item. You don't have to just like I had to just put up with having just a random rare. You can have whatever you want. A 6-link soul mantle for your frost totems, which is a great build. I love frost totems. That's the best Trade League build. Really works good in solo self-found too, because there's something that's target farmable for that build now. Virides. It drops from Maven.
When I'm ready.
And see if you'll look real quick. Primordial Staff of Matado. That right there is a suffix you can only get in the Temple of Atsuatl. This is a good suffix for traps. It's not on a good base, okay? If this was on a pair of gloves or I mean, you know, if it was on something, being on a staff, that's not that great, really. +2 to level of Trapper Mind Gems, Matadals. So that's really good for Trapper Mind. If this was a 6 link, you could just make a Trapper just from this. That would be really good in a pair of boots, gloves, helmet, anything. For a Trapper. Unfortunately, we got 2 staffs. That's probably the worst bases you can get. For sure. So, even this low-level temple here, we've got some stuff that would be upgrades if we were a Trapper. I mean, if that would have dropped as a boot or a glove, and then all of a sudden we hit it with a Regal Orb, and it gives plus max life on it, really good. Then we can craft a resistance on it. All of a sudden, then you have plus life, +2 to gem level resistances, pair of boots or gloves that you're playing Glacial Cascade traps or whatever kind of trapper you're playing. All of a sudden, you have like almost a best in slot pair of gloves or boots. Like, maybe not best in slot. You know, there's other stuff you could add. You know, I mean, you could have like an artificial 6-link helmet for your traps or something, but you have a really good item you can get just from, this is just our first temple run we've even went on. You just have to know what to look for. You have to know what to look for. Like, there's a lot. You have to know how to target farm. You have to know where to go, what to get, what has a high drop rate is going to help your character a lot, what has a really low drop rate that's going to barely help your character. You know, okay, there's items that honestly you're never going to get, mirror tier items for solo self-found. Like, it's probably going to take you so long to get it, you're not going to get it in 3 months. You'll have to go to standard and keep playing solo self-found to get it, right? That's how rare these items are. But a lot of these really rare items don't really improve your character, but maybe 5%, 1%, or even if that. Like, it's not worth it for how much you're having to put in to craft it.
And not before.
Whereas getting a 6-link is going to boost you exponentially. Getting boots with plus specters boosts you exponentially. Getting all your resists and life cap, making sure life is all on all of your gear, so you can have at least, you want to have at least 6,000 EHP. That's going to increase your survivability. That's going to boost you exponentially. Just getting like plus to level of skill gems on your stuff is going to boost you exponentially. Crafting minions deal increased damage. Crafting on a shitty cluster. This is a 12 socket. Like, usually people want the 8 clusters. Don't worry about it. Get one with 12. This is the cheapest. Like, you could get this for a chaos on Trade League. Buy this. Rotten Claws. I literally went to a harvest and rolled attack modifiers. Reroll as attack modifiers. I got that in like 2 or 3 rerolls. All of a sudden, my character is like almost twice as strong from like literally 2 or 3 chaos. Like, there's little things you can do that are really easy to do that people don't even know to do. They don't even know how to do it because they're so used to trading for everything. I mean, like literally, unless you're making mirror tier stuff, like you can pretty much have a full max character solo self-found fairly easily. You just have to be knowledgeable, and you don't have to be like playing 8 hours a day either. I don't think you have to be playing tons. You can clear all content without playing that much. You really don't have to play that much. You just have to be knowledgeable. You have to know what to do and where to go so you don't waste time. where to go and level, how to level, how to get every piece of your gear. So you want to pick a build that you know really well. What's the best boot for this build? What's the best glove? What's the best amulet for this build? What are the best affixes for that build? So I choose skeleton minions because skeleton minions is really good to sell as self-found. It runs really well on only a 5-link, only a 4-link or a 5-link. You can do early maps on a 4-link really easily. You can do actually tier 16 maps on a 5-link. You can actually do tier 16s on a 5-link. I still recommend getting a 6-link early. And then you're going to want to get that Ashes of Stars from the Eater of Worlds. And another thing I like about minion builds, other than plus to gem level items, a lot of the gear is not really hard to get. Or it doesn't require a lot of you. It's easy to craft this shield. Just go into Harvest and craft under life until you get the highest plus life gain when you block. 80 plus is going to be good. So you want your shield to be at least like tier 75 plus. Or item level 75 plus. I can't remember what tier 1 life gain on block is. I level 75? I can't remember. Anyway. And you ideally want life gain when block. If you don't get that, no, you have to get that. If you get that, good secondary will be chance to block and life and stuff like that. So
When I'm ready, I'm not.
that's easy to craft. This is easy to craft. This is easy to get. You just go to Abysses, get it, craft it. Craft a Ghastly Eye Jewel to put in here. Really easy to get. Life resistances, craft minions deal increased damage. I'm really basic stuff. You'll find a +2 socketed minion gem helmet. You can find all that stuff and get all that stuff really easily early on. And just that stuff can carry you through in-game. You can clear all content in the game just with that. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not going to be easy, but it's possible.
I need more mana.
Depending on what level your character is. So if you get your character up high level, you're naturally going to get more EHP. You're naturally going to get more stronger because you're going to be getting more passives. You're going to be putting your minions, or your damage is going to get stronger because you're going to be putting into all of this stuff. You're going to be getting more clusters. Leveling up in this game can make a big difference. Especially how everything scales, because how percentages scale over time. Like, you can really get a lot of damage output how it scales. So I think this is the one that had maps. Okay. Yes, cartography. There's the sacrificial chamber. Did we get all the items? I think we did. Sometimes if you see me blink or do something stupid, I do have Tourette's. So sometimes I fucking twitch and shit. I think I got everything in here. This is a pretty good base for energy shield. That's not a lot of energy shield. But the thing with energy shield is, if you're not, a lot of people go life based because it's a lot easier to craft. It's a lot easier to get, and the stuff's a lot less expensive. So it's easier to get self-found. It's easier to craft, and it's cheaper to purchase during Trade League. And it's not necessarily better. It's just more expensive due to how much harder it is to craft. That's when you're going strictly energy shield, unless besides life. And on energy shield builds, you just want the most energy shield you possibly can get on everything. That takes priority over everything. So, especially on like a chest or something that has a lot of energy shield on it. Like a glove, maybe not. Like a chest that has a lot of defenses on it. You want to max your energy shield. So you want to have all three of your prefixes you want to be energy shield. You want to get a prefix +2 energy shield, a prefix +2 energy shield plus % increase energy shield, and then you want the prefix % increase energy shield. So you basically want all of your armor to have as much energy shield as possible. Not worrying about resistances or anything else, just the energy shield. Then you get resistances from other stuff, like your rings and amulets and stuff. And like you really prioritize. And the stuff that's really expensive would be like an energy shield item that had resistances. So if you had all three prefixes of energy shield, and then it had like tier 1 lightning resist, tier 1 fire resist, tier 1 cold, that would be sick. That would be a perfect item, right? Our golems are dead, but we are going to cast this Vow Summon Skeletons. That's one reason I like putting skeletons into 6-ling rather than zombies. Is if you're running with skeletons, your skeletons you just constantly recast anyway. Running with zombies is really fun, and I do run with zombies. But running with zombies in a 6-ling, just keep in mind your zombies you do have to resummon if they die. And I'll be honest with you, skeletons, from my experience, seems like they do more damage. I don't know. They may not, but some people you can run zombie 6-ling, and run specters. You can run zombie 6-ling armor and run skeletons in a 6-ling helmet, which is a 4-ling +2. So the helmet would have hypothermia and minion life or something like that. If it was god tier, it would have hypothermia and minion life. Table of sacrifice. So now we can sacrifice a unique for a unique, which isn't really that great. We will do it though, just to show. This is a unique that I don't ever see myself using. Trigger Fog of War. That's kind of cool. What are some uniques? Who knows? We might get something interesting. Yes, I'll sacrifice that. So when you get this to tier 3, you can choose to sacrifice an item to upgrade it. So the items, uniques that come from the temple, it will upgrade them. This is just a tier 1, so sacrifice a unique item for another. So it could be any random unique. This could be a really good unique. I think you can actually get headhunters this way too. That would be sick.
Too much clutter.
So we ended up getting Chernobog's Pillar. A lot of life, a lot of fire, a lot of armor. That's a lot of armor on there. So you've already got 108 life, 41 fire resist, 25% physical damage converted to fire. So if you're converting to fire, this is not bad. 25% chance to curse non-cursed enemies with enfeebled on hit. So if you put this on a golem, you're all of a sudden cursing everything with enfeeble. So certain builds, you might want this on your animated golem. Okay. I mean, there's just a lot to this game. There's a lot to learn in this game. There's a lot to memorize. It's like you learn something new every day with this game. That's how many mechanics are in this game. How much you get from this game. It's unbelievable. It really is. Let's cast another Vow Summon Skeleton. Okay. Which I'll be honest with you, the only thing I know a lot about is minion builds. I know a little bit about Molten Strike Jug. I know a little bit about a lot of different builds. I mean, I've played Winter Orb. I've played. I know a lot about Frost Totems, but the key with this game is make your own build. Figure out the mechanics on your own. I mean, like, look at, I mean, what ascendancy do you want? What passives do you want? What class do you start with? Are you going to be, what gems are you using? Are you going to want to use a melee ability? Do you want something with magic? Do you want something interesting that nobody else plays with? Like, you want to try to make your fireball, you know, as godly as possible. You know, it may not be the best build, but which I think fireball actually is viable. Do you want to run traps? Well, then you got to run a saboteur, but take the ascendancies for traps. Do you want to run minions? Do you want to run self-cast arc? So lightning self-cast. A lot of stuff in this game is not self-cast. It's cast through totems or everything. Frost totems, you know. You lay your totems to do, and they shoot frost bolts. That's a really fun build. There's so many builds in this game. It's unbelievable. I really like it. There's hundreds. Like, you're not going to build the same character twice. I promise you that. And every time a league starts, there's another mechanic added. There's new items added. There's new gems added. There's new abilities added. There's new. Sometimes they change the ascendancy. Sometimes they change classes. So sometimes one build may, like, every league there's new builds. Like, there's a new build every 3 months. Like, it's not like you run the same build for 10. You like every league you have to relearn. You have to create new builds. Like, everything is basically from scratch, 100% new. It's unbelievable. Like, you literally, this is a game you have to read patch notes because, like, something might change. One thing might change, and it changes everything. That's how interconnected everything is. Like, you really have to read patch notes on this game. Honestly, you can't just go in playing the same build you've always played because something might have been fucked up. I'll be honest with you. Now, here's an interesting unique. You find this little puppy out in the wild sometime. That's a soul catcher, I think. Yes, this item can be transformed on the altar of sacrifice, along with Vial of the Ghost. So you have to sacrifice it with the vial, and then it upgrades. That is a cute little find. Those vials are quite rare, but you can get them quite quickly. I mean, and it's really, I don't know. And look at this. You also have stuff you can do, like, you will earn microtransactions if you complete, which I hate my microtransactions. That's why I don't ever do this stuff. I don't give a shit about it. But you can still do it. And then if you want to, like, support the team, you can spend like $5 later and then get all this. But, like, it gives you objectives you can get. All the way from low to all the way in-game. Get level 100. Use the Divine Font in the in-game labyrinth. Defeat 4 mod rare monsters in tier 16 maps. Defeat Uber bosses. You get all of this every 3 months. Like, you literally can't do everything. It's fucking impossible. You're never going to do everything in this game. This game will never... You're never going to run out of in-game content. Like, fucking never. It's literally impossible. But you are starting the same character over and over every league, so... For people that don't like ladder systems to where it restarts... Because they'll say, well, why don't you just play the character you played last league and just play standard? Well, then you can't play the new league mechanic. So, in order to play the new league mechanics, you have to start over. Did I actually unlock this area? I did unlock this area. Oh, no. I've got to go. Oh, dude. What am I doing? So we're going to have to take a trip back. I can't remember which way I'm going, dude. Yes, this was really weird. I missed a lot of openings, so my map is bad. There's a lot. There's only so. Well, there's only one way I can go in and out, and I wasn't even paying attention to that. Go back down to the warehouse. That's the only thing I hate about Temples of Alba. It's best to do these if you can get a lot of these doors open, because if not, you're going to be doing a lot of backtracking, and it's going to cut down your farming time exponentially. Like it's going to make it really probably not worth farming it, because especially Trade League, I mean, everything's about how fast you can go. So unless you're just playing casually like I'm doing, you know, I mean, yeah. Okay, so, fuck. So this was the empowering room. So I don't think there's really much in here. Unset rings are always good to pick up with minion builds, because getting good unset rings is actually kind of difficult. I find that that's a lot more difficult than any other basic rare plus resist, is finding good unset rings. See, these are terrible. Low life, fire chaos. Like, these would be easily upgraded. I want to be able to craft movement speed on them. See how shitty this ring is? But I basically took it because it had some life and resist. It had some life and resist. So if you find one of these with like 60 life, 16 all resist, you know, just some other really good mods on there, I mean, that's really good find. That's going to boost you a lot. Always double check these unset rings. And having decks on them is really good. That's why I kept this one. Because if you're running, Dex is going to be your limiting factor. So if you're running added cold damage for your skeletons or something, or if you're running Impale, that's why I'm not running any green gems except for Desecrate, and Desecrate is a level 1 gem. So I don't have to worry about dexterity on this guy. I don't want to have to worry about dexterity. If you are running dexterity, it may actually even be worth it to take this node right here. Because I'll be honest with you, you're going to be, you see how starved I am for dexterity? 78 dex. You're going to want at least probably over 100, maybe 120. So in this guy, I don't even have any dex. That frees up my rings a lot. Because I don't rely on stats. If you don't rely on stats, your characters can be a lot stronger, a lot faster. If you rely on stats and you have to say, well, I have to craft dex and then I won't be able to craft life or whatever. So you don't want to be don't want to be a build that has. You want to make your build in a way to where ideally you're not starved for any statistic. So it's revolved primarily around intelligence or strength or dexterity. You don't want to rely on too many different attributes, because that will actually, I mean, unless you just have like mirror tier stuff, like it's gonna make your make it a lot harder. And I don't even think it's best. I think most builds are do better just focusing on two colors, mostly two colors, like blue and red or green and red or whatever. Okay, so this is the strongbox chamber. This is always really nice. Contains a valuable item. Okay. That's gonna be nice. Oh, whoa. Was I already there? I'm losing my mind. Did I already get that item? I think I already did. That was these weird staffs. Those staffs are. You want to try to get that, but you want it to be a ring or something. Like you want it to be something fucking crazy. Like a really good amulet or a really good ring or a really good pair of gloves. I forgot I had already busted that open. So I guess the only thing left is this strongbox chamber, which I'm going to take my time with it. I didn't explain this earlier, but Legion monoliths. I ran that Legion monolith earlier. Everything's frozen in space. And my character's not really good with legions because I feel like he's kind of restricted on the damage he can do. So yeah. You have to basically kill them twice. You kill them the first time in their frozen state, so it will spawn them. And then once they're awakened, any statue you didn't kill, it won't awaken, it just disappears. So you ideally want to, like, Freezing Pulse is really good for Legion Monolith. Anything with a huge wide area of effect. Actually, like, in-game golems and stuff, like, in-game minion builds are good, but I would say, like, mid-tier skeletons isn't fast enough. It's a good boss killer, but it's not a good enough with clear speed. Well, I mean, I will say this though, the skelly mages do have clear speed. Okay, so we're going to want to craft on these, especially in if you're running solo self-found. There's no reason not to use all your currency. I'm only going to use these on the gym one. And I'm not going to re-roll them either. I'm just going to hit them. If you're running tier 16 map, you might want to re-roll your strong boxes if you're trying to get a certain item. Like if you're running Shaper or Elder Influence map tier 16 and you're trying to get an Elder or Shaper Bone Helm, you would want to re-roll these strong boxes to get +2 level. So you'd want to get at least +3 up to a max of +5 to monster level. So instead of dropping eye level 86 stuff, everything's going to be dropping 86 stuff. So, but in this case, I don't really care about eye level that much. I mean, I could get eye level 84 if it dropped, if it got a +5 on it. But I'm not really worried about it, so I'm only gonna use the engineer orb on the gem cutters, because gems, I think there's a lot of good gems I could get. Gems is worth trying for. Only contains support gems, okay? That's kind of cute. Okay, this one I'm gonna save these again, because these are a lot more rare to find in solo self-found than alchemy orbs. So you want to basically find +5, +3 or higher on a tier 16 map to get for your strong box for high level stuff. For this, it don't really matter because it's just going to contain gems. So, and then you want to hit it with this to buff that out. And you're just double dipping because you hit it with a sentinel. You're just double dipping. Well, so there's minion speed right there. So we've already saved ourselves. We've already got a 6% minion speed quality. It's not too bad. If you get a lot of these qualities, you can quality up your own gems. So there's a 17% faster attacks. There's a gem cutter prison card. Was that worth it? I don't know that it really was. I don't think it was, actually. But we did get some gems, though. Gotta give us prisms, because I do want gem cutter prisms to get all of our gems up to 20% quality. Because in solo self-found, you have to remember the fact that you can't trade. You may as well use all your currency, as I was saying earlier. You may as well use all your gem cutters. Just start improving your gems, you know? Start, there's multi-strike. Start, improving your multi-strike. So, for every quality, what does this get? I don't know. Sporting skills deal increased melee physical damage. So this will increase your damage. So that was a big boost. Here's minion damage. This is a good one to run with. Remember, that's the beauty of solo self-found. You don't have to worry about, oh, well, I'm wasting these. In solo self-found, you want to level this to 20. Then you want to trade it to Lily Roth with one of these to get a 20% gem. And then, because it's more efficient that way, right? In solo self-found, you can't trade. So you may as well use this. So you actually in solo self-found get 20% gems a lot faster. And it just increases your damage so much. It's such a boost to your damage. There's brutality. Yes, it makes you a beast, basically. Another thing I can do here is, and I was saving this for when I was recording, by the way, so I don't really need that. It is item level 80 though. But so I'll sell that.
When I'm ready.
I always keep this in my inventory with a green one. That way if I need to desecrate, I can switch to it without losing this plus 2 skills. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to quality up a lot of our gems. That's a good idea. So that's got quality. We don't need this other minion speed. So the minion gems, I'll probably keep that to the side. Summon Raging Spirit, yes. Stone Golem, I'll keep. Mirror Arrow, no. Herald of Agony, no. Nah, who am I kidding? I'll get rid of all these. Maybe keep the Stone Golem. Raging Spirit, okay. So let's make sure these have quality on them. Pierce support, I might want to keep. Hatred, I probably want to keep. What was that even in there? Cold damage, I want to keep. Slower projectiles. Increased damage. That I might want to keep that. I'm just thinking if I have a projectile build like a skeleton mages. Otherwise, I wouldn't even worry about it. Unless it's something you can't find. That's for chaos damage. That's a level 21. Okay, make sure none of these are level 21 too. That's another thing. If you have a level 21 gem with quality on it, and you're solo self-found, just keep it. I mean, the chances of you ever finding this again are basically ridiculous. Level 21, 20% quality, Reap. So that's like perfect for anybody using Reap. Like a build that uses Reap, I don't know. Fuck. That's what I would do. That's another thing. You could find something that makes another build. War Banner, I definitely want to keep that. Like, you could say, oh, damn, I found a level 21 Vow Summon Skeletons fucking with quality on it? Is that even possible? Where would you even... I don't even know if you could find that or not. But yeah, you could find something really good. Or end up getting something really good, I guess. Oh, I want to level up that vulnerability. Zealotry, sure. Archmage? No. I guess I'll keep Archmage, that's kind of interesting. Conductivity is interesting. Power charge on critical. Cast when stunned? That's a terrible one. And you remove it until you get even. There's a 1%. We'll get rid of that 1%. Don't you have to have 40%? Oh, there we go. Yeah, because I didn't want that in here. Okay, I'm an idiot. Okay. I knew something was wrong. So now brutality will be boosted. Our melee physical damage will be boosted. Once we get that boosted, we'll boost Ruthless and we'll be good. Tempest Shield. I do want to keep that. There's a Flame Dash I definitely want to keep. Matter of fact, I'm going to start leveling that. That's a 20. That's a 20. That's a 20. Yeah, Divine Hour. Okay. Tempest Shield. Increase critical strikes. That's a nice level 21. Okay.
Hail God Slayer.
Okay, gems I'm keeping would be this one, Tempest Shield, increase. I forgot to trade these or something. I guess I can level. I can get rid of this. Guess I can level some more summon skeletons, I guess.
God Slayer, good day.
So that's my main. Or I say that. I can get one skeleton and one carrion golem. Always have something in your offhands to level. So you're always leveling stuff. Pride almost there. Okay, I need one more red I can level. That war banner would be nice. Did I sell that? Yeah, I'll level this war banner. Perfect. I'll take a... I'll take a detour on this. I could level this in power. Let's just level this in power. That's fine. Vulnerability is so good to level. Yeah, that's fine. Good. So these are the gems that I'm keeping. The ones I'm not keeping, I'll put here. I think I'm going to end the stream for now, guys. Make sure there was nothing left in here. Yeah, I gotta go eat something. I'll be right. I'll probably be back quick. Okay. See y'all later.